Yeah. Alright, let's do this AEW Dynamite review. Dynamite was on Wednesday. I watched it. Yeah, I would have done it yesterday, but I was playing some Final Fantasy. I'm like hooked on that game. But yeah, we'll get through Dynamite. It wasn't the best show, considering they just had like a pay-per-view. So now that Will Ospreay is back, Will Ospreay is going to open up every show again. It was Will Ospreay versus Blake Christian. This was an 8-minute match. It was an easy win for Will Ospreay over Blake Christian. It was an easy win for Will Ospreay over Blake Christian. Who is a talented in-ring performer. And then Will Ospreay did a promo saying he missed the fans. The fans chanted "Welcome back" at him. Will called out Jon Moxley, asking if he wanted to know the difference between them. Will said he doesn't need a weapon to snap somebody's neck because he can do that with his bare hands. The Death Riders, Jon Moxley, who is the AEW Continental Champion, and Will Yuta made their entrance in the back. Will jumped over the barricade and attacked Moxley with punches. Yuta grabbed Will, so Will beat him up. Then Will threw a garbage can at Moxley. Will teased a big move, but Pac went into the ring and hit a pump kick. Punk applied the brutalizer submission on Will. After that was broken up, Will was able to break free and went after Pac in the crowd. Next up, it was Jon Moxley, Will Yuta versus the Bang Bang Gang. Juice Robinson, Ace Austin with Austin Gunn. Next up, it was Jon Moxley, Will and this was an 11-minute match with the Death Riders getting the win. A rare win for Will Yuta since he was last on Jon Moxley's team. And Juice and Austin, they're not on Dynamite that much, even though they are good performers. They used to be on Dynamite regularly, but then I don't know, I think now they're on like Ring of Honor and Collision more. And then a video aired about Darby Allin and Gabe Kidd about the coffin match. Gabe said he's not waiting to get in the ring, and he told Darby Allin to meet him in the parking lot. Kenny Omega was shown doing a promo after Revolution. Omega told Swerve Strickland to put the number one contender on the line against Omega, and the winner becomes the number one contender for the AEW World title. Omega told Swerve to think about it and get back to him. Gabe Kidd was in the parking lot, and Darby Allin tried to drive him over in a car, but Kidd avoided it. They started fighting in the parking lot. Kidd tried to choke Allin, but Allin broke free. Allin had some rags with chloroform in it and rubbed it in Kidd's face. Allin put Kidd in the trunk of the car and said, "Let's ride." Allin drove the car into a pile of garbage and flipped the car over on purpose. Allin crawled out of the car was upside down, and Kidd managed to break it open. Opened the trunk while stalling the car crash. Allin put the Kidd in the equipment case with wheels, and we assumed he was going to wheel Kidd in the ring, and that's exactly what he did. So that started the Darby Allin versus Gabe Kidd match. This was a 10-minute match. AEW usually has like 20-minute matches. AEW had a lot of short matches on Dynamite. This was a 10-minute match. AEW usually has like 20-minute matches. AEW had a lot of short matches on Dynamite. Allen tripped up Kid. Yeah, so they did a bunch of brutal attacks.
Allen tripped up Kid.
They were battling by the turnbuckle as
They did a bunch of brutal attacks.
Allen bit Kid's head and Allen jumped off the top with the Avalanche Code Red in the middle of the ring. The fans chanted holy crap for that.
They were battling by the turnbuckle.
Allen hit a Scorpion Death Drop on Kid while Kid was in a straitjacket. Allen went up top, so Kid kicked the referee into the ropes to knock Allen down. Kid hit a power slam without even using his hands. Kid hit a jumping kick to the head. Kid had a running headback to knock Allen out of the ring. Allen went on top and hit a coffin drop, jumped off the top again with the coffin drop. Allen tripped up Kid by the apron. Allen hit a suicide drive to knock Kid into the coffin, and the lid was closed.
Jumped off the top again with the coffin drop. Allen tripped up Kid by the apron. Allen hit a suicide
And then Darby Allin did a
Kid
promo saying he's going to hold the throttle until he sees gold, until he sees God or the AEW World Championship. Allen mentioned AEW World Champion Maxwell Jacob Friedman, and he said he was coming for him.
Until he sees God or the AEW World Championship. Allen mentioned AEW World Champion Maxwell Jacob Friedman, and he said he was coming for him.
And then they showed the Jurassic Express duo of Jack and a new AEW champion and his buddy Luchasaurus. They were in the bus and they drove from Los Angeles to Fresno. Or at least that's what they were supposed to think. That's what we were supposed to think. They drove the bus to the arena. Jack said that tonight he's teaming with the Young Bucks, who are like brothers to him. The Young Bucks were there. Matt Jackson said that Revolution was a rough night, but they are going to fight their way to the top. Nick Jackson said that it starts tonight against Beretta, Romeo, and a guy who's like family to them. Luchasaurus said B to end it since Okada likes to say that. So, and then Swerve Strickland had a really good promo. He was in the ring on the chair while the lights were off. Swerve said he enjoyed his win over Brody Keane, but sometimes power is more important than championships. Swerve claimed he'll be a two-time AEW champion right now if the Young Bucks didn't interfere in his match. Swerve mentioned he is the number one contender to the AEW World title. Swerve wondered what that means if he doesn't have the power to protect it. Swerve said that Kenny didn't have that leverage in this. However, Swerve is interested in Omega's power. Swerve said he wants Omega's power. Swerve said if he wants a rematch with him, then Omega will have to offer his vice president status. And Swerve said that's when he beats Omega and he'll become AEW's new vice president.
Vice president status. And Swerve said that's when he beats Omega.
So they're doing a lot of stipulations lately. So it's an interesting stipulation when Kenny Omega puts his EVP job title on the line against Swerve's spot as the number one contender. If you think that Omega will win,
so it's an interesting stipulation when Kenny Omega puts his
because MJF is a heel champion, so it's likely they'll do MJF and Omega, but we'll see.
Because MJF is a heel champion, so it's likely they'll do MJF and Omega.
So Speedball Mike Bailey, who is 1/3 of the trio champion, was interviewed by Renee Paquette. Bailey talks about how hard he has worked to become all elite, and he looks up to people like Kenny Omega. Bailey said he'll be an AEW World Champion someday, and the kind of mental toughness makes you not only a star, but also
elite. And he looks up to people like Kenny Omega. Bailey said he'll be an AEW World Champion someday, and the kind of mental toughness makes you not only a star, but also a winner.
There was no Don Callis and Mike Davis. The quick, so yeah, Mike Davis versus Speedball Mike Bailey. This went 11 minutes. It's a very
There
good
was no
TV
Don
match
Callis and
to
Mike
give
Davis.
Speedball a win over a guy who doesn't
So yeah,
win over the top
Mike
guys.
Davis versus Speedball Mike Bailey. This went 11 minutes. It's a very good TV match to give Speedball a win over a guy who doesn't win over the top guys.
And then a video aired of MJF talking about retaining the AEW World Title at Revolution. He talked about how he has some of the greatest stipulation matches of all time, and he is the greatest world champion. MJF said being a bloody mess was all worth it because he's still the AEW World Champion. MJF mentioned that today, on Sunday, he turned 30, and he accomplished more than most of the Hall of Famers, and he's going to be the greatest of all time. MJF said that Paige is on the board, and MJF has 20 more years to go. MJF said that for the next 20 years, Paige will be in the mid-card, and he's going to be the greatest.
MJF has 20 more years to go. MJF said that for the next 20 years, Paige will be
MJF called himself the Big Hebrew as a nickname. MJF was asked by Camera Boy what is he going to do next, and Max said he's going to Disney World.
MJF called himself the Big Hebrew as a nickname. MJF was asked by Camera Boy what is he going to do next, and Max said he's going to Disney World.
And then the trio of Okada, Trent, and Rocky Romero did a promo ahead of the main event patch. Okada trash talked the Young Bucks and said they'll pick up a win.
And then the trio of Okada,
Marina
Trent,
Shafir
and Rocky Romero
of the Death Riders made their entrance.
Ahead of the main event patch.
So it was no holds barred. Marina Shafir versus Mina Shirakawa, which was originally supposed to be Tony Storm.
So it was no holds barred. Marina Shafir versus.
So it was reported that Tony Storm has a legit injury, so she's out of action. And from what I read online, she could be out for like the most of 2026.
So it was reported that Tony Storm has a legit injury.
So I don't know if that's a blessing in disguise, because she wasn't really. She was just kind of stuck in the mid card. But I mean, but it'd be good for her when she gets back, because she'll be just as over.
She was just kind of stuck in the mid card. But I mean, but it'd be good for her when she gets back, because she'll be.
So this match went 11 minutes. Mina hit a Storm Zero for the pinfall win. It was an okay match for a TV match, but certainly didn't live up to a great no holds barred match.
11 minutes. Mina hit a Storm Zero for the pinfall win.
The Shafir story has been with Tony Storm, and while Mina is a solid wrestler, it just wasn't interesting. The fans didn't really care in the first half of the match, but got into it more in the end. Andrade was interviewed by Renee Paquette, who asked what was next for Andrade, as Andrade said he wanted the AEW World Title. John Cruz walked up with a briefcase of money from MJF. Don Callis appeared on the phone on Facebook and told Andrade to accept this gift.
Don Callis appeared on the phone.
Andrade questioned it, but Callis said he told MJF they would take care of Darby Allin for Max.
Andrade questioned it, but Callis said he told MJF they would take care of Darby Allin for Max.
Next up was the Young Bucks, the main event. Young Bucks, Matt Jackson, Ned Jackson, Jack Perry versus Don Callis family, Okada, Trent, and Rocky Romero.
Next up was the
I
Young
didn't
Bucks,
realize Trent was on the Don Callis family.
Young Bucks, Matt Jackson, Ned Jackson, Jack Perry versus Don Callis family, Okada.
This
Trent,
went 11 minutes. The Young Bucks won, and Jack Perry. The match was solid, but not on the level of some of the great main events that we usually see in AEW. This felt like a weak. This felt like a weak show in general, not just a weak main event. There was a whole lot happening.
This felt like a weak show in general, not just a weak main event. But
Woken up for 3 hours of sleep. Oh boy, because of my noisy neighbor.
Woken up for 3 hours of sleep. Oh boy. It doesn't my noisy neighbor.
After the match, the Young Bucks did an in-ring promo. Nick Jackson said it was a bittersweet win, but on Sunday at Revolution they blew it. Nick said they let their family down because they had their kids in gear just to watch them lose. Nick said they admit FTR were the better men. Matt Jackson said they went to his birthday party and he was sad. Matt said his dad gave him a pep talk about being the best and fans still love them.
Matt Jackson said they went to his birthday party and he was sad. Matt said his dad gave him a pep talk about being the best and fans still love them.
And then Edge and Christian, and then Adam Copeland and Christian Cage came out to the ring. They said this is going to sound cliche, but they respect the Young Bucks. Cope said that their match with FTR was one of the best wrestling matches he ever laid his eyes on. Well, he must not watch wrestling. He must not watched a lot of wrestling then. Because I can think of better matches. Cope said he can relate because FTR attacked his wife. Cope said now that they know his wife Beth doesn't need surgery. He knows he has to be back to rectify the situation. Cope said that they have to talk to the AEW World Championship. No, they have to take the AEW Championship from FTR. Cope said Dynasty in Vancouver is going to be FTR versus against Cope and Cage for the AEW World titles. So, which I'm guessing they might be able to pull it off.
Against Cope and Cage for the AEW World titles. So, which I'm guessing they might be able to pull it off.
They didn't have a match in 6 months and they get a title shot just like that. Yeah. AEW used to do solid booking and more logical booking, so teams actually earn title shots. Remember that ranking system? See how well that turned out?
Yeah. AEW used to do solid booking and more logical booking, so teams actually earn title shots. Remember that ranking system? See how well that turned out?
Christian Cage spoke of how he understands it's a personal situation for the three of them, and it is for him. Christian said winning the tag titles mean he makes a ton of extra money. Christian said they get to prove that they're the best tag team of their generation and the Young Bucks.
Christian said winning the tag titles mean he makes a ton of extra money.
Again tonight.
Christian said they get to prove that they're the best tag team of their generation and the Young Bucks. I hope I'm not noisy again tonight.
And then FTR joined with the promos. Stoke tried to talk with the babyfaces team, told him to shut up. FTR went into the ring and ate a double super kick from the box. And spear from Cope. Cage kicked Cash in the groin. Cope and Cage held up the AEW World titles. Were Excalibur plug collision matches, and that was the end of the show.
Cage kicked Cash in the groin. Cope and Cage held up the
So that was Dynamite. And that did not carry the momentum from the Revolution. This is like a below average show. I don't know what was going on with the show, but
so that was Dynamite.
Yeah, the booking was not that great. And that
did not carry the momentum from the Revolution.
It was not a great show.
I don't know what was going on with the show, but yeah, the booking was not that great. It was not a good show.
The good was the Strickland promo. The bad. I like Mina, but I'll have to say that Marina Shafir and Mina Shikara. And I should mention too, they also showed Toni Storm early in the day in the locker room, and Storm was down on the ground. Mina was checking on Storm. That means the match has changed.
And I should mention too, they also
so there's rumors online that Mina could be the attacker, but if she's gone for a long period of time, I don't know if they're going to continue with that story or what's going to happen. But yeah, actually this would be the ugly Marina Shafir versus Mina
what's gonna happen.
Shirakawa and the
But yeah.
bad.
Actually, this would be the ugly. Marina Shafira versus Mina Shirakawa and the bad.
And there was no women on this show. There was no Willow. There was no like women matches on the show, which was kind of
There
weird
was no women
considering
on this
they want to
show.
push
There
the
was no
women.
Willow. There was no like women
So
matches
that'll
on
be
the
my
show.
bad. My bad would be they don't have.
Which
Well,
was
I guess
kind
they
of
had that
weird
one
considering
women's match,
they want to
Marina
push the
and
women.
Mina, but that was it.
So that'd be my bad.
They had like
My bad would be
a whole roster
well, I guess
stacked
they had
of
that one
women,
women's
and
match,
they only
Marina and Mina, but that was it.
used the two. So that's
They had like
yeah, but that.
a whole
But
roster
yeah, that's your
stacked
AEW
of women,
Dynamite
and they
reports.
only used the two. So that's yeah, but yeah, that's your AEW Dynamite reports.
Not much to discuss. SmackDown's on tonight, so hopefully there'll be some things to talk about tonight. But until then,
Not much
I
to
will see you in the
discuss.
next video. Bye.
SmackDown's on tonight.